Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello!
How are you guys? Today we are with our purple Two Little Mice screen as we are going to talk not only about Outcome but a lot of different stuff and basically all of our games. So first of all,
Yes.
thank you for being here. Thank you for being already so many of you. Hi
Hi,
Liana, hi Seth,
Raul, and Alex,
Katerina.
Gianluca, Caterina, and thank you very much for being here. I'm sorry, I'm starting to say that. I'm very sorry. I'm probably not very appealing right now because it's very hot in here.
Yeah.
I hope that wherever you live, you have some a way to refresh and to not, die from the scorching heat that it's hitting my house right now.
We are at 40 degree right now in Rome, pretty much. So you can imagine it's pretty hot here. Not gonna lie. Um, so why are we doing this live stream? As you know, we've been away for a while. We had a live stream, I believe, next week sorry, last week, and we explained why we've been away this long. Now we are going to be more present on a weekly basis. But since we have so much things to catch up, we decided to have this long live stream, this huge at least live stream, to show you what we have been up to. First of all, and I'm going to repeat this at least 3 times, so please bear with me. I want to remind you that Outgunned has been nominated for the 2024 ENNIE Awards. The ENNIES are kind of the Academy Awards of the RPG industry, so we are thrilled to be nominated with Outgunned as Product of the Year, which is kind of the biggest, award they have. Also, best game, which uh, it made us really happy to have this nomination. And also, as Two Little Mice, we are nominated as fan favorite publisher or best publisher. And this is definitely the the award that we hope to win, because we like to think that we have a very great community and we do a pretty good job in with our campaign. So we would be really free to win actually any of these awards. So if you don't know any awards, the way they work, there are judges that basically they make the nominations, the final five that are competing, and then it's up to the public to actually vote. So you can find the link to vote in the description of this live on our Facebook, on Discord, whatever. And if you want to vote for Outgunned or Two Little Mice, it makes a huge difference for us. Not gonna lie, it's not going to be easy to win any of these in this category, because there are some big products and some great games running this year, but still, if you want to support us, you can vote one, because one is actually the biggest, the best vote for either Outgunned or Two Little Mice. Thank you very much, Ren. And thanks for all of you. And sorry if I'm going to repeat myself several times, but there's only up until Sunday to vote for Outgunned or Two Little Mice. So for the next couple of days, I'm going to remind you as often as possible. But before we go into Outgun, and I will tell you a little bit about what we are doing with Outgunned. Today we are also going to show you the final opera Omnia of Adventures in the Household and the final deathless edition of Memento Mori. And I would say, Simone, if you agree, we can start possibly with Household, and then we
Okay.
go back to Outgun, and then at the end we'll see the deathless edition of Memento Mori, which is something special, I believe, even for our standards.
Yes, it is. Yes, I agree. Oof. I'm not thinking straight. Pardon me, but it's very hot in here.
28 in Calgary. Yeah, so it's we can envy at least our Canadian friends in the summers. I don't envy you in winter at all, but at least in the summer you're not struggling as us. I'm sorry, Aliana, it happens a lot. A lot of people vote 10 or 5, believing that's the high, the high vote is the better, but actually that's not how it works. But it is what it is. Not it's. I appreciate the effort, and I know I for one last year, a couple of years ago, I voted against myself.
At the end, he said yes. Every single way, it's a bit of a struggle because it's hard to remember. Okay. It is how it works. But the fact that you voted for us for us, it's important regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also because as I was saying, it will be really hard to compete against those big names up there. So, but we'll get there eventually. We'll get there.
We are.
This is our first.
We are. We have only writing our numbers, as you saw during Outgun Adventure campaign. We are very happy about it. Every single project brings more and more people into our audience, and that's what really matters to us, because it's great to have every day more people joining us and playing our games, etc.
So let's show the Opera Omnia of Adventures in the Household, which is our 5e edition of Household Volume 1.
This time it's me.
Yeah.
We're struggling, not Rico. Here we are.
This,
my dear friend, is the Adventures in the Household Opera Omnia.
This was the original Household Opera Omnia, and that's the Adventures in the Household version. I have to say, me and Daniela especially, we had this room was full. All the floor of this room were full of different samples of the proof of this cover of Adventures in the Household. So yes, we were very I don't know, we wanted to be as precise as possible with the color that you saw on the screen, because we care a lot that this will fit good with the original purple household, and I believe we got as close as possible. I believe it looks almost like in the screen, and that's a victory for us. I know it's a small thing, but for us it's the color is almost everything. But let's open this. May I say that I'm particularly happy about the side of this book, this golden and white. This is going to be the signature, element for Adventures in the Household. And as you can see, they don't have the classic Two Little Mice band on the side of the cover. Let's show some of the cover.
Let's start with the core rule book.
This, if this doesn't get Daniela nomination at the 2025, ENNIE awards for best cover, I don't know. I will stop participating to the contest, because I believe this is our single best cover yet. I may change my mind when I see the final Outgunned Adventure cover, but this is for me personally her best yet.
The interior part. Remember what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very gorgeous.
That's, as always, Household is always,
Yeah, my
there's so much attention to details when it comes to household, and I'm always happy that we do so many proofs and samples and stuff. Let's see. This is the cover of Such Small Matters, which is the 5e conversion of a saga of the Fragile Peace. So this is kind of the campaign book for household. Another great cover featuring, yeah,
and
all the famous character from the saga.
probably Daniela's favorite. I don't know.
And this is Daniela's favorite cover,
Yes.
the household guide featuring Master Paracelsus. Great cover. All in all, that's you can't go wrong with Daniela. And this cover, some of you have noticed, it's kind of a callback to the Cauldron of Tasha. You know, this kind of pose. So it was kind of our homage to the all the the 5e covers. And then our brand new screen for Adventures in the Household featuring Valentin Dulamp, the general of the 10th Legion of the Fairy Army.
The interior.
And this is, we are so much in love with this piece of art of Valentin Dulamp that we are making for us, for me and Daniela, we are making an 1 meter tall print for our living room. So you can bet we are extremely happy with this.
Of course,
With this
would find, if you don't already know it, the map that is also a candy wrap.
A candy wrap, and on the back of the candy wrap you've got the map of the house. This was not made by Daniela, but actually by another talented Italian artist and a friend, Fabio Perfidia. And Fabio does most of the map for the Italian RPG, and he has done an incredible job with Household. First time he was doing a map of a house rather than a continent, so it was a first for him as well.
And that's it. That's the overall Omnia Adventures in the Household.
But as you know, there was also another box in the Adventures in the Household Kickstarter campaign, and it was the Household Hero box.
Gold! It's gold.
It's, to his set mind, this is the same size, exact size as the Opera Omnia. So this time they are the same size, and inside you will find all the 30 miniature, all the 13 figures. We do not have them. Simone can't show you because they got lost.
I just received it. I have the minis, but the tray, plastic tray with the minis, is on its way right now to our various hubs, when they will take the minis and put it inside the box.
So we were looking at
a couple for samples, but I send it to the factory so they can be. They was 100% sure that all the measurements were correct.
So yeah, the good news is, as you can see, we have planned to ship everything by the end of September 2024, and it definitely looks like we are going to meet this deadline. Possibly we are also going to be a little early because production went
we are
perfectly.
At the moment, just to give you the production update, everything is produced, and I just don't have here the new dice for Adventures in the Household, but they are on their way to our very soon. I should get it next week, so I'm positive that I can show you if we we'll have another live stream next week. I should have them by Monday. Let's hope, fingers crossed. But basically, we are working really, really hard to ensure that all the hubs have all the materials beforehand, because, of course, as you can see, they are pretty big, pretty heavy stuff. To say they need a little bit of time to make sure they have the right boxes, for the shipping, etc. I won't bother you with the information, but we are very happy.
Yeah, it was kind of easier to make Household the second time, because Household is there was a lot of work in matching all the colors, but
Yes.
it was easier this time because we already had the first one and it was the same printer, and also the shape of the box, it was easier to explain to the people who have already done the first. So yeah,
They
as
asking
you
me
can-
about the soundtrack of Household. You are right. That it's my fault. I forget to send you the soundtrack since I already locked your order. I will do it ASAP. I will
Yeah.
send you the soundtrack of all to all the
Adventures in
new
the Outgun.
packets.
Yeah.
We just sent a lot of things, and we didn't put the soundtrack inside. You're right. You are about to get it.
I believe by the end of the week's early next week. So it's all ready, but
Tomorrow, just to gather all the info, but
sometimes we have so much to do that we miss on something. So that's
with
on us.
3 ongoing projects, it's not easy. But again, I cannot express how happy are we about how everything is coming together.
It was definitely not easy doing all the project that we did this year and being on time. So I don't want to, I don't want to jinx it, but everything is going very, very well. Not only, but we are going to be at GenCon in August, and Adventures in the Household will also be available in limited quantity at GenCon, and that's because our partner Studio 2, they are receiving Adventures in the Household in this day to start the shipping. So they are also going to bring some copies that they can get ready as soon as possible for GenCon. So this is also another relief for us. Hi Matt. But enough about Household. I will go back to Outgunned for a moment, and then we will switch to Memento Mori and get ready, because we have something extremely cool to show you from Memento Mori. So, let me see if I can find the... I don't know where this is, where there is the graphic for Outgunned, because there's so many things going on my screen right now, but I believe I can. Here, that should be it. Yeah, Outgunned Adventure. Sorry. So Outgunned Adventure, this is what we are doing right now. I just wanted to give you a little update on everything. Of course, there's nothing printed to show you. It's a bit early for that, because Outgunned Adventure will be delivered next year as anticipated during the campaign. But some good news. We are currently working at the Outgunned Adventure book before going to the Action Flicks book. Right now, the Outgunned Adventure book is at 240 pages. We are hoping to keep it at that, not keep adding many pages, just because we don't want the book to be too heavy. But we are very happy with the result. I believe of these 240 pages, maybe we still have to write 40 of them. So it's almost ready. Of course, don't expect it too soon, because we have to translate it in English. Daniela has still to finish some of the arts, so they're still going to take a little bit of time. Hopefully by the end of September we can send you the beta version of the Outgunned adventure book. I can tell you that the book is packed. It's just there's
Lot of
not one single empty or half empty page. We are using all the 240
new
pages.
rules, new mechanics, a lot of game stuff, supernatural stuff, ropes, stuff. There are a lot of stuff in there. We are loving it while we are writing it, and so we cannot wait to share with you because it's really an entire world of possibilities inside Outgun Adventure.
And it's being a challenge. I believe this is I've said that before, but I'll say it again. This is our most difficult book as designer and as publisher, because we are basically we are speaking at two different audiences, because you can have Outgunned Adventure and just play the standalone, but you can also already have the Outgunned core book and use Outgunned Adventure as kind of a big expansion. So we cannot give everything for granted, but also we don't want to waste too many pages if you already know the basic rules. So we are really I wouldn't say struggling, but we are really working. We are really concerned in a good way. We are spending energy in making sure
to achieve something that we would love to, but of course it's not easy. But we would really like to to create this this unique form of book, which is a genre book, a stand-alone expansion that is both really enjoyable, both as standalone and as an expansion. And we are working towards this, and we are doing more than our best as always. We are very happy with the results right now, but you will say how it will go in the end. But a lot, really, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Right now, the book is structured this way that basically you have your everyday beginning of the book. There is an intro. There is some what we call the pillars of adventure, so what you should keep in mind. There is a small introduction to why we are choosing to play between the two great wars, for example, and then you have one big first chapter with all the rules to create your adventurer, and so there is 10 roles, one special role. There is 15 tropes, a couple of dozen new traits.
40 something new traits, if I remember correctly.
43 traits. Not all of the traits are new. I believe of these 43, 10 of these traits are from the core book, because like Gunslinger, you can go wrong with Gunslinger. It didn't make sense to change the name, so for easy reference. But at least 32 new traits. Also, you have there is the luck mechanic. Now you don't have adrenaline, you have luck, and this is going to be awarded a little bit differently than your adrenaline. What else? After this first chapter, you have a second chapter which is called the basics of the game, and that's a chapter you can skip if you already own Outgun. It's 30 pages, something less than 30 pages. It's all the basic rules, the one that you find in the quick start, how to roll the dice, what skill to choose, all that stuff. But many of these, all the examples have been reflavored. We have added bigger, examples of the game mechanic. So if you
then of course focus on how to use luck instead of adrenaline, how the director is supposed to give luck instead of adrenaline. So it's of course very, very useful, even if you know your core
Let's
outgun.
we have tried to make it as uh, it's not like we took all those pages and put it back in another book, but we try to make it as good as possible, as flavorful as possible. But still, you can feel free to skip that. Then there is a third chapter about dangers and enemies. There's a couple of
Yes.
pages about dangerous roads. Most of the stuff you already know about, but there are some differences, especially regarding luck and the spotlight. And then we have enemies, which works a little bit differently. They are easier. They are more. There's a
Free, I don't know.
yeah, there is a less of a framework around enemies
Yes.
because they are less important in adventure. But of course, there are rules to mix and match the rules from the original, Outgunned. And then what we have? We have
You got a lot of new rules, like the chance of adding problems over problems. So having, some dangerous roll that could be a basic plus a critical, and how this works when you should use it, with examples, etc. There are conditions, your basic conditions,
conditions.
and new condition, even at a total change of perspective in this book. I don't know if Rigo wants to.
There's one and only one positive condition that you can get during a camp. That one of your friends can give you this positive condition, but there are also some, of course, negative conditions. And then what else? There is extended roles for all those situations. Like we don't have chases, but we have all kind of extended roles. If you are familiar with Household, we took the core concept of the extended roles and conflicts from Household, and we extended it a lot more. So it's, I believe, extended roles are around 4 pages, 6 pages. There's a lot of room for them. We have I don't know how to say in English. Opposite role.
Opposite roles, maybe.
So
I don't
basically,
remember. Maybe
opposite
Caterina
roles.
can help
Yeah.
us.
Opposite roles. There are 3 kind of opposite roles: players against player,
Excellent. Thank you.
or contested roles. So you have a contested roles between 2 players, a contested role between the player and the director, and then you have also a contested role between a player and the fortune.
Yes,
And the fortune
a new
themselves.
mechanic
Yeah.
that answer a question that we ourselves ask sometimes. What do you roll when you are basically taking your chances? Your ability doesn't matter. You are trying something very difficult, but only luck can help you. What happens in those cases? We try to answer with this very unique and particular.
One example that you will find in the book is the professor is writing something, is translating a journal, and then there is a bear that comes from behind and starting messing with the camp, and the professor does not know that there is a bear, so he simply shouts, get away, I'm doing work, stop disturbing me. And how do you manage this situation? How can you possibly, can you ask him
the
for
outcome of the
a role?
dreams.
Because it's very strange. We find ourselves and there is a scene like this, of course, in Temple of Doom, where the female protagonist takes the snake, thinking it's the elephant, and throws the snake away, while Indiana Jones, of course, is terrified. So how do you handle something like this? You get a contested role between you and the fortune. So basically, it's a very cool moment, full of thrill and adrenaline, but still, there's basically even chances between you and the fortune. But you will see. Then we have the assist mechanics, which is something that allows player to share in a very cool way some of their successes. Basically, you have a success that you don't need during a fight or during any kind of group kind of activity. You can leave the success on the table for another player to grab it if they need. No, unfortunately not. I'm not a board gamer, so I don't know Lost Expedition. I'm sorry. I'm not very skilled in board game. And then you have a chapter, of course, for equipment. We are talking some of the stuff you already know. There are some of the weapon traits from the original Outgun book, but there is also new traits, and also there is new version of the trait, because for example in Outgunned Adventure we don't use ranges. Weapons are simpler, just like enemy, because we don't want to get too gritty, too mechanicals, on fighting, because that's not the kind of game. If you like it, you can still, take the rules from the core book, of course. But since there are a lot of traits for weapon that revolves around ranges, we have changed them. We have made them more on the narrative side. And then of course we have the key item. As you know, we unlocked a key ring necklace. That's that's a token for whoever's holding the key. So you find rules for the key, which is basically that kind of object that you can only lose in meaningful circumstances, because we don't want to lose your backpack and then lose the key that you needed to reach, of course, the temple. That would be silly in an adventure movie. And then we have a whole chapter about temples, traps,
and traps,
and this new
a
mechanic,
lot of
which is
pages about traps.
it's
12, 16 pages, 12 pages.
I
I don't
believe
know.
it's
We are
close-
still deciding on, so it would flow, because we are still writing it.
I believe it's 14 pages alone of traps, just traps.
Yes.
There's 14 pages with the
Yes.
the new run mechanic, and with the temples. I believe we are at a grand total of 24, 26 pages. It's a huge chapter for Outgunned, and there is we have divided, and I believe this is really cool. We have divided traps into 3 different categories. What we call, I don't know how to say that in English, because Katerina still have to translate them. So we have kind of the your I don't know how to say, your trigger traps. I don't know,
Trigger
like those
traps.
traps that you put a foot on the wrong place, an arrow come swinging next to you, you're almost dead, and that's it. And that's the end of it. That's a trap. Like you trigger the trap triggers, and that's all. Also we have a second category of traps, which are what we called the dissuasive traps. I don't know how to say it in English. I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. Like traps that are not there to harm you. They are just there to make it harder to you to they. So for example, you pull a lever and blades start swinging in the corridor. You are not on the corridor. You have to decide if you want to face that traps or not. And then finally we have, I know how to call that, they are the deadly traps. And the deadly traps are a whole scene, like a room that suddenly gets flooded with water, and you have multiple turns, multiple actions that you have to do to stop the trap and try to survive. And what's important for us is not only how you can manage those traps, how you can survive this trap, but what happens if and when you fail. Because for us, this is the most difficult things for new director in Outgun and Outgun Adventure, to managing in a cool way the failure. Because in Outgun Adventure we are not playing D&D, this is not an OSR, so it's not like a trap will do you you take an arrow, you take 1d6 damage, that's easy. No, you don't die for that arrow, you don't fail, you still have consequences. I know it gets hard, but with our pre-made traps, I believe it's going to be easier. Trigger traps, thank you. Since I only say the word trigger like 200 times.
Too hard to say.
But yes, so extremely happy with this division of traps. Yeah, and I understand that's hard, so we have tried. So after you have this category of traps, you will have different traps with little black and white sketches made by Daniela, like an old diary, like you're facing those traps, and you have I believe 16, more of a dozen, more than a dozen, I believe, yes. Around 15, 16 pre-made traps that they are just ready to use, and you can adjust them to your adventure. And you have so you can either make up your own trap, or you can adjust our pre-made trap for your first adventures. And then of course we have the run mechanics. The run mechanic, and the run is something like a chase, but it's not a chase. You will see that's fairly different from a chase. There is no need, there is no speed, there is not all the kind of stuff. It's way more narrative mechanic, but still it's pretty structured to help you have this kind of everything is falling apart, or a boulder is following you and you have to run away. Then after this we have a chapter for adventure. Yes, yes. For supernatural stuff. Huge chapter on supernatural enemy, and also pre-made supernatural enemies. They have their supernatural action they can perform. They have minions they can count on, and there's also pages of pre-made, like the mummy and their minions. There's also undead creatures of all kind, and I don't want to spoil everything, but there is a huge chapter on the supernatural stuff. And then finally there is a chapter about adventure, and so about campaign, advancement, how to create a rival, how to create a treasure. There is examples of treasures, the new camp mechanic. It's really packed with content. It's so yeah. So you'll see. We are pretty stoked, with pretty happy with this book. And yes, so cannot wait to actually share it with you, to hear from you, and to hear how you are going to use this book to mix and match stuff with the original Outgunned, or play it as a standalone. Really, I'm really curious, because we are kind of inventing, a middle ground between an expansion.
Yes, a new type of book, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. We cannot wait. We hope in August, when we will keep writing, maybe we will have some more juicy stuff to tell you, when we start to visualize a little bit better how it is coming together.
And yeah, and I believe that's everything about Outgunned. The only thing that I want to say about Outgunned, of course, is that the original Outgunned will be with us at GenCon. So if you are around Indianapolis in August, or after that, if you are in Essenspiel in Germany, please come say hello. There's going to be Simone and Daniela and Caterina and me. We'll be happy to sign your books, make a little sketch for you, and just have a chat. It'll be really a pleasure to meet any of you guys in Indianapolis. And speaking,
also, before we pass on to the Memento Mori update, I just want to remember everybody, I am saying this, but if you are a hero in the latest adventure campaign of Outgunned and you would like to have a two-way shipping delivered to you before the end of August, please choose the two-way shipping before the end of July, so that I can lock your order before or at GenCon, and I can give our house the time to send it to you. Again, if you don't do this now, you can always choose the two-way shipping even after. Just wait a little bit because I have to physically ask the app to do that. So until we will eventually send you the stuff, if you want to have the existing Outgun stuff before, just choose the two-way shipping and let us know.
And speaking of adventure and Outgunned, of course, I take the opportunity to show you again this new art made by Daniela for Outgunned Adventure. This is the art for the extended roles. And also, as you can see, to remind you that you can still vote until Sunday for Outgunned as Product of the Year, Best Game, or for Two Little Mice as Best Publisher, and that one is the best vote, not 10, not 5, I don't know why, it's 1. So please vote 1, and the link is in the description of this video. I'm going to do this like an airplane steward for the rest of the week. Sorry, but you know.
Now, let's go to the final part of our live stream. It's almost an hour. We are chatting and mumbling and rumbling about. So, Memento Mori, Rico.
Memento Mori. Let me see if I can. If I have no. Okay, let's go back to the purple at least. So Memento Mori, as you know, special project for us. Because Memento Mori is the first game that was not actually designed by ourselves, but that we still brought, to the international audience. Why we did that? Because we personally began our journey with an Italian publisher called Raven Distribution, and Raven Distribution. Hi, Raven. Hi, Roberto. Raven Distribution also the same year that they did the first edition of Household, they also did another game which was called Memento Mori. So we were at the same booth with this guy. They are roughly our age. We share the same, background in, things we like. So we became close friends, and we were really fans of Memento Mori. So when we had the opportunity, thanks to you, we had this kind of success that allowed us to bring another game early this year. We took the chances and we made an international edition for Memento Mori. Now Memento Mori is a very cool product, meaning both the product itself and the content of the book. So it was extremely hard to make it actually better than it already was. What we could do, apart from giving all the tools, all the resources to the original author to rewrite what they wanted to rewrite, to redo almost, I believe, 60 or 70 art pieces that they were not happy about, so we had them redone with some of our friends, artist friends, of course. What we could do, we took our idea of layout of having everything, tidily on a page, and we try to apply that to Memento Mori, and also we try to apply our production skill to the Memento Mori, physical books and accessories. So I believe in the end, I believe we got a little carried away with ourselves because we were so eager to do something with this game that was so beautiful, and we want, and it was hard, so we kind of got a little bit crazy.
We decided in the end to produce the most unbelievable cool stuff we ever think of, not made, we ever thought in the past. Are you ready? Because I have here the first
Deathless.
#1 deathless edition that just arrived to me. But you are not ready. I know the answer.
So let's
Can
start
I?
with the outside. So the first thing we did was, here it is. Since Memento Mori is all black and white, we asked Daniela to make a cover for the box. And since we were there, we decided that the cover of this box, please show all the side, or we can see also the back. I love the back because there's so much gold on the back.
Oh.
Yeah. This is Memento
Everything
Mori.
is gold.
Deathless edition. So we decided to make this cover of the box a detachable magnetic screen. So please, Simone, open the screen. And voila. So if you want, you can detach the screen if you want to showcase the books and this marvelous black and white and gold art by Francesco Biagini. Or what we did, because this book looks so good, we actually made 2 magnets on each side, so you can attach the screen on the other side and actually showcase the books. So you can use this as you prefer. This is something. Yeah, I don't know why it was so important for us to add those magnets to actually have the screen on the back, but you know, because since they are so cool, the books, you might want to showcase the book if you have, you know, a cool old shelf. And then you have these 4 books, which are actually 3 books and a book-shaped box. Let's start with the first one, with the black Memento Mori core book. So everything is gold. Everything is gold laminated and engraved, and even the, you know, side of the pages are, I believe it's called gold edging, a gilded edging. I don't know. 2 bookmark, because why not?
It's unbelievable.
So yeah,
New art. Well,
it was really hard to make it look better than it actually was, but I believe we managed. And this gilded, you know, edging that you unlocked at the very last day of the campaign, I believe it really makes the difference. You know, not many standard, because this is not a limited edition. This is not only for the Deathless edition. All the Memento Mori book will have gilded edging, so I believe that's something really, really special. I know Raul, and I agree with you, and it's going to be a little less of a problem for me, because I will simply ask Simone to ship me 2 boxes, so we will have them one near the other, so I will showcase both of them basically, but that's because I can.
Thank you, Jay. It's not true. I'm awful, but thank you for saying this. I know how to present a book. That's true.
Yeah. Simone has many qualities, and showcasing book is definitely one of them. Should we take a look at the other books?
This is Italian's favorite book, the Codex Gigas, which is a wonderful red, a blood red, of course, it's called something like this, and let's go.
It's we are such fans of gold. I don't know why we have this problem, but you know, we really like the gold on our books. It makes everything look cooler. Yeah, I know, Raul, that's what they were going for, and I'm glad it works. And this is the X Velum.
With all the things you unlocked, like the Lost Bestiarium, with the...
And all the, how they call the bond? I don't know.
Yes, something like that.
I'm sorry.
I have it. It's in English, so I can just read it. Simone, it's not. I did not follow it.
It's not
The binding pacts.
Binding pacts. So it's not really yellow paper, but it's not really.
Uso umano, it's called in Italian.
Yeah, but
so
it's not cold either. It's not a very. It looks more yellow in the camera, but it's not yellow, but it's not plain white. It's very natural. I don't know how to say. It's not very. I don't know, Simone, if you have a white sheet of paper somewhere. Yeah, so you can compare them. It's kind of a warm.
It is white. 100%.
It's kind of a warm color. It's not very yellow, but it's still not white. So that was what I was saying during the campaign, that the PDF was not really good looking because they're very white, but actually the paper feels very natural. It's kind of a prop. It really looks like something you would use on a set on a movie or something. And then we have the Arca Fade, which is not a book, but it's a book-shaped box.
Gold, of course.
Of course. Needless to say. So, inside the Arca Fade, you will find the dice, first of all.
Nice.
White dice and black dice for your corrupted slot, and instead of the 6, you will find the MM of the Memento Mori logo. Then we have a dice pouch, of course, for those dice.
It's
embossed. Makes sense?
Sealed in ink, gold, of course.
Yeah, it's not a print as sewed on.
It's 3D. Everything is 3D in this stuff. Like the tarot card. This is of course.
This is the tack box of the Memento Mori tarots.
The
tarots are amazing, guys. The amazing work of Francesco Biagini. Francesco Biagini. We worked with him at Inferno and Apocalisse, and he's just a great artist. I don't know, Simone, if you can show the details, like the embossed or engraved effect of these tarots.
Yeah, very, very. It's 3D. It's slightly 3D. This gold effect, it's very cool. I don't know how to express.
And our favorite tarot, of course, is the sun, because
if you forgot your mirror at home, you can just use the sun.
Just plain gold.
A card made of gold.
And of course, you can take the number 13 tarot. And of course, since many of you were asking about the PDF, we were true to the tradition. So the tarot that many of you call the death actually doesn't have a name, because in the original tarot this was called the nameless tarot. So it wasn't actually the death, it was the number 13, and it was nameless. We call it the death, but it's not actually death. It's actually the nameless tarot. So you will not find a name according to the original tradition. Also, what we have the swords. Yeah, these swords are not only designed, but hand drawn by Marco Bucci, one of the 2 authors. They are extremely cool, and you have all the rules on the back and the drawing on the front. We have unlocked them as stretch goals during the campaign.
Yes.
Can you show the blade breaker, please?
Of course.
Because I'm in love with the blade. Ulgurat.
Yes.
The blade breaker. This is very. They are very, very, very Dark Souls like. They are extremely cool, and it's unbelievable that Marco Bucci is not only a skilled writer, but he can draw so good.
And you can use them as bookmark.
Of course. if the 2 ribbon bookmarks on any book are not enough
It's
for you.
not enough. I don't know what are you doing, but
And also, we'll have the binding pact sheets, which are basically on one side you have the description of the binding pact and the art, and on the other side you have all the. So there's kind of like you will have this kind of sheet for the PBTA character, but these are actually with pre-made things written on it that you can select and choose from. But these are actually not for players, but are for your shots. So, for example, there is one about the shipwreck, and there is a structure to have a shot, a one shot or a campaign based on a shipwreck or on a sea-themed adventure. So they will help you decline Memento Mori in different scenarios and different themes or moods.
And give you ideas for your campaign.
And also there is a print, if you were an early bird, an exclusive print of the Wild Hunt by Francesco Biagini. I'm in love with this, and of course, it's Biagini. Francesco is really a master of his craft, and he's done an amazing job for Memento Mori and for the tarots and everything. You can imagine, I know we always say that we are extremely proud with what we do. I can tell you that we spend a lot of time doing samples, a lot of time redoing samples, a lot of time redoing samples.
So, inside the box, it's black.
So it's, you will find us obsessed about these little details, like the inside of the box is black, but these are all, additional costs.
Not easy to design this object. So, we are proud.
So we are extremely proud. This was a difficult object to make. So this time, not only a shout out to all the artists and the and the people doing this, but also to Simone for actually producing this, because if you don't know, Simone is the one who's actually talking to the printing house, the paper guys.
And telling, I just want, it's good, but more gold. More gold, yes, please.
So, thank you all of you guys, and
it's more or less 2.5 kilos altogether. It's
not our heaviest game, I would say. Not our heaviest.
Not our heavy. It's not a household. I mean, it's like 5 kilos.
I can tell you that if we ever do a board game at a certain point, I don't know how heavy it's going to be, because we have reached 5-6 kilos with games. I don't know what we can do with board game, but I always tell Simone, if we ever do a board game, I want at least a 1 meter long box. I will not settle for less than 1 meter. That's my.
We will probably find a life-size minis of Rico inside. A statue.
And I can tell you, Raul, that with everything we unlocked, with all the additional gold, with all the additional stuff, the price of the Deathless edition will be higher on retail and at GenCon. So I know it was a little bit of an expense, during the Baker Kit campaign. So I'm thankful that you decided to go to all in. I can tell you, and all the guys who choose the 800 people who choose the Deathless edition, that at least that you ensured the lowest price possible. That will not be possible from now on, because really it got really out of hand. It got really expensive, but it was worth it. Actually, believe it or not, the guys doing Memento Mori, they are very close friends. We love them deeply, and our top priority with this campaign was to make them proud. And I believe they are proud of their game and what we did, so that was the goal. Even if we got a little bit carried away with the productions. But yes, we have been, blabbing for an hour now, so I believe it's time to say goodbye. We'll see you possibly next week, and we'll see you in person at GenCon. Please come to GenCon if you are close. But even if you are in Canada, Ren, hop on a on a plane.
Super quick check. I don't know what you have there.
Personal, private, your private jet, Ren. Hop on a plane and come join us in Indianapolis. And if you can't find tickets for GenCon, we will come out of the convention to say hello to any of you guys. Just write us on Facebook. Thank you for bearing with us for an hour. Thank you, Simone, for showcasing all this heavy stuff for us at 40 degrees. I guess we'll see you next time. We'll see you next week with more news about our upcoming project, because I can tell you that we have already, not only we have done 3 crowdfunding campaigns this year, but we are just about to deliver 2 of them. So between January and now, we have managed to do the campaign, close the project, and we are now fulfilling. And I can tell you that we still have half a year ahead of us, so we might still have at least one more surprise for you. But we'll talk more about that next week.
Jay is right. Sorry, we will cut short. We are tired. We Italians, when we are tired, we tend to over talk.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
That's what we do. We
feel. We talk. I don't know why.
We fill space and time. So when you are, if you ever come to dinner with us, the moment that we say, okay, goodbye, we are going home, then it means that we have at least 90 minutes before we actually leave. So thank you, guys. I'll see you next time.
Bye.